Oregon, a land of adventure and awe, a treasure.
That was a great take.
Majestic and hidden. A state that calls out for exploration and experience. The journey of discovery begins now. From KGW, this is Grants Getaways.
Hi there, I'm Grant McOmie, your host for KGW's Grants Getaways, as we discover Oregon's people, places, and outdoor adventures. You know, when I was a boy, I fell in love with long distance. Not the telephone kind, but the dust-filled lanes and back roads that enticed a small-town kid to explore his home region now more than 50 years ago. Along the way, I made a discovery of treasure that's measured in the memories of so many interesting people, fascinating places, and intriguing outdoor adventures. These days, my greatest pleasure comes from sharing with you each week. And this week on Grants Getaways, a local artist has taken his work in a new direction through a children's book that keeps imagination alive. It's a sense of wonder about the Oregon outdoors. And it's the land of the giants, magnificent trees that are massive and you can see them anytime. And you are in for one amazing wildlife surprise where the bugling is loud, the battles can be fierce, and bull elk put on quite the show as we go on an Oregon elk watch. But first, the calendar says fall, and that means time to grab a rod and reel and head out to catch a salmon. But first, join me in the kitchen and discover new ways to cook the catch with the captain's platter.
Just reel, you got a reel. All right, you want me to lift? Yes, I do.
Everett Twilliger says fresh salmon is a fine reward for a day's adventure.
All right. Woo! Good job. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. Fall Chinook, baby.
A gorgeous catch for sure, but what to do with 20 pounds of salmon?
We're going to have a little fun with it, and that's part of what cooking is. Step out of bounds a little bit and try some different stuff.
Longtime seafood chef Steve Fick and his friend Scott McMullen team up in the kitchen with new recipes centered on fresh and abundant Oregon seafood, starting with salmon.
We're going to cut these steaks thin and their skin off.
The simpler the better, says Fick, who enjoys cooking seafood as much as the catching. Today's main course, a captain's platter.
A lot of unique flavors. You're going to have Dungeness crab, Pacific prawns, Oregon salmon, true cut, Oregon halibut. You're going to have Willapa Bay oysters, you know, like if it's Christmas and you're decorating a tree, Grant.
Steve calls his homespun recipes simple and delicious, including bacon-wrapped scallops, pre-cooked at 375 for 15 minutes. The captain's platter is assembled, and it is amazing, as oysters on the half-shell ring the dish and round out the dinner. Then into the oven for no more than 10 minutes.
You cook it too much, you're going to get a dry product, and you don't want that. All this stuff is pretty healthy for you, low-cal, Oregon-based. Can't ask for anything better.
Steve moves on to fresh albacore tuna, sliced thin before a dip into a huckleberry marinade.
I don't marinate it for a long time. I like it to enhance the flavor and not dominate the flavor, and that's why I'm a little gentler with it.
Okay. He sautés the tuna a minute on each side in a buttery mixture, including a quarter cup of peanut butter.
It gives it a little bit of a different edge on the buttery aspect of it, and it cooks well.
Each recipe is so easy anyone can try, as guest tasters line up to sample and then weigh in on their favorites.
Everything was my favorite. But I do like to say that the way that Steve layered the fish and the prawns on top, that was outstanding. The tuna was so good. My favorite chef.
I love the oysters and I love the scallops wrapped in bacon.
And then, of course, tuna's my very favorite. So
Albacore
the
tuna.
tuna was wonderful as
Yeah.
well. It was really a lot of fun watching him prepare this meal.
Yeah, Steve's got a bit of the artist in him, I think. With the halibut and the salmon, the oysters and the pink shrimp, all together, that was just terrific.
A favorite? That's hard. I liked it all. I thought it was amazing.
Obviously, fresh is the best. And the bacon wrapped scallops. That was a nice treat. Layering the salmon and the halibut was spot on.
And these are simple steps. It looks a little complex, but it really isn't. You can have other variations with the seafood. Let your imagination go.
Stay with us. You are in for one amazing wildlife surprise where the bugling is loud and the battles can be fierce as bull elk put on quite a show. We go on an Oregon elk watch when Grant's Getaways continues. A November surprise on the Jewel Wildlife Area is cool and crisp and quiet. But not for long.
The majority of the bugling that you're hearing out here during the rut is the mature bulls, because those are the ones that are dominant. They try to run the other smaller bulls off.
Bull elk bugling is unlike any trumpet or trombone you've ever heard.
They bugle at one another, they challenge one another, and then they kind of pace side by side.
Signs that the rut or breeding season has arrived and the battles have just begun.
And then all of a sudden, they will turn and they will commence to lock their antlers and push on one another. They mean business until one of them finally gives up.
Not a fight to the death, but a pushing match that determines strength and virility.
This is an alder tree where elk have been rubbing on.
Bull elk grow antlers up to 5 feet high, with a tip-to-tip spread that's even wider. As hormones rise, the bulls become more aggressive, and alder tree rubs are common.
Helps establish their dominance. If there's other bulls around and they're just scraping and they say, I'm meaner than you, and you need to stay away from me.
You don't want to stay away from Jewel this time of year, but keep in mind that Jewel is but one of 3 elk watch sites that provide amazing moments in the wild. Each December, Wildlife Area Manager Ed Miguez travels 150 miles a day to reach 10 feeding sites on the 12,000-acre Elkhorn Wildlife Area. It sprawls across Union and Baker counties. The Elkhorn Winter Feeding Program started in '71 to keep hungry Rocky Mountain elk up here in the forest, rather than ranch lands on the valley floor.
We don't miss a day.
Most of the Elkhorn Wildlife Area is closed in winter, but the Anthony Creek site stays open, so visitors can stand by a warming fire and enjoy the show. There's one more show that should not be missed on this statewide elk watch. The Dancing Antlers at Dean Creek Refuge along Highway 38, 3 miles east of Reedsport. They are guaranteed to stop you in your tracks. Back at Jewel Wildlife Area, biologist Brian Swearingen says, bring patience when you come, and don't be afraid to linger longer, even after sunset.
Because you can hear the antlers clashing, and you can hear some bulls bugling, and you can hear some of the calves and the cows sort of talking, so it's still a good experience.
This winter, make time to travel east for an easy-to-find and unique wildlife experience along the Deschutes River. And please, don't forget a camera.
You see bald eagles and golden eagles in their daily routine.
It's an age-old predator-prey game amid timeless rimrock country at Lake Billy Chinook near Madras, Oregon.
You never know what's going to be going on at one of the viewpoints or at the Overlook Park.
A place where 3 rivers called Metolius, Crooked, and Deschutes merge into a 7-mile-long watery playground. Less than an hour down the Deschutes River, explore a direct route to Solitude on a gentle road that winds for more than 40 miles. The lower Deschutes backcountry byway is surrounded by canyon walls that tower above lonesome boaters who own the river this time of year. Many of the columnar basalt cliffs reach hundreds of feet high.
He probably went back and bedded against the cliff.
It's where wildlife biologist Jeremy Thompson watches for movement among the rocks.
In the sun, they kind of shine yellow. I've heard them described as bananas, looking for bananas on the hill. But the curve of that horn and the color of it really stands out.
The Deschutes River Byway hides bighorns, and it takes a keen eye to pick out the wild sheep that blend with the background. Females, called ewes, gather in small herds.
They're pretty gregarious. They like to hang out together throughout the entirety of the year. So you'll find little groups like that. You know, there'll be 10 to 12 generally throughout the summer and the fall.
The males, called rams, are more solitary.
Once a ram gets over 1.5 years old, I mean, his horns are well bigger than what a ewe's will be. So you'll start to see horns that curve way back and much bigger at the base than what you'd see on the females.
Oregon's bighorn sheep went extinct in the 1940s from overhunting and disease. But successful reintroduction programs in the 90s restored the Deschutes bighorns, and now nearly 600 live here. If you wish to come and watch, dress warm. Don't forget binoculars, and most of all, be sure you bring
patience. A lot of people will stop and look and not see them and move on. You know, if you just sit down and watch and look at some of these bigger cliff complexes, eventually they'll be surprised. There'll be sheep in them and they just haven't been able to see them.
You will see them down a backcountry by road that's one of the best around. Stay with us. It's the land of the giants that are massive and magnificent, and you can see them anytime when Grants Getaways continues. When you step into Washington County's land of the giants,
yeah, I wish it was overcast. Now it'd be easier to see them there.
It's best to have them in clear focus.
These are magnificent, huge trees, and it's hard to capture that on film.
2 rows of giant sequoia trees stand like sentinels just off Porter Road near Forest Grove.
Wow.
They are a wonder and a challenge for famed Oregon photographer Steve Terrell.
I like to photograph from out here, showing the whole realm of it. Then also get inside, show this beautiful twisted, gnarly bark and branches they have. It's almost magical looking. When you walk in there, you're a little bit of a magical forest. It's really interesting.
The giants reach back to settlement days when entrepreneur John Ramsey Porter, fresh and flush from the California goldfields, settled in the county. Historian Mary Jo Morelli says Porter sold seedlings and seeds to eager homeowners wanting to show off their economic success, like these giants along Hawthorne Street.
Because they're so magnificent.
Word of mouth and a solid reputation meant easy sales for Porter to 19th century homeowners eager to make a statement.
We have the largest ones because of the early plantings. And they still are just this magnificent tree that works with the name Forest Grove. Just looking out over the town, you can see all the sequoias popping up.
There are more than 100 giant sequoias across the town, each more than 140 years old. This giant on the corner of Pacific and B is one for the record books. 152 feet tall, 32 feet around, largest in Oregon, and a state heritage tree that Terrell can't resist.
I try to get that feeling, I just try that. And it's the majestic power those trees have too, but the flow, every tree has a different flow to it. What I want people to do is look at this and say, geez, these are gorgeous. This is in Oregon, this is in Portland, I can go see this stuff.
Terrell says you don't have to travel far to see magnificent heritage trees, including the Hoyt Arboretum.
Oh, it's just unbelievably beautiful. It's a great place to come hike, enjoy yourself.
Terrell's been documenting hundreds of city heritage trees through a project sponsored by the Portland City Parks.
And I'll take notes, I'll seriously take notes thinking, well, I should be back here in a couple of months. I really work to bring it to life, if you will.
You can walk to many of the city and state heritage trees or visit them online and discover the stories the giants can tell. Some giants reach into the distant past. Here is a rare piece of protected nature you can visit on this outdoor tip of the week. 2 years ago, we bushwhacked through backwoods.
From here on, we're going to go downhill.
And found the oldest resident of the region.
This tree is between 800 and 1,200 years old.
Holy smoke. I never knew.
Lifelong local Don Best led us into the Rockaway Beach Cedar Wetlands Preserve and the Big Cedar. He'd been visiting the area since he was a kid.
It's amazing back here. I mean, a lot of people don't know this is back here.
Just a secret?
It's been our secret, yeah.
Prized and protected for science and education, the city of Rockaway decided there had to be a better way to give more people easy access into the 50-acre preserve. So over the past 2 summers, a new boardwalk trail went up. Workers weren't allowed to dig in the wetlands, so the trail's foundation is unique. 8-sided fiberglass pods that seem to float above the wetlands, but provide secure base for the clear-grained cedar lumber.
This is yellow cedar. If you're doing woodworking, this is about the best.
These guys are fast. These guys are good at what they're doing, and they're using that Alaska yellow cedar, and it's super, super fine-grained stuff. And it's going to last a long time being that cedar.
The trail was finished in August, so now families can stroll the mile-long out and back. Keep watch overhead. Ospreys like to nest here. The turnaround offers a massive deck with plenty of elbow room and surrounds the old cedar. The tree measures 50 feet around and rises more than 150 feet in the air. Marked by gnarly bark and a contorted trunk, this gargantuan cedar is a magnificent champion that can be enjoyed year-round.
What's special about it is this is the way the coast forests used to look like. And it's never been touched, never been logged, so it's just the way it looked hundreds of years ago.
Don Best says the entire scene is an island of history and worth a pause to consider.
We used to play here, and we used to go in here all the time. And it got so thick that we couldn't walk, and so we had to crawl on our hands and knees through the creek to get down here. It was full of salal and full of everything else, and now they built this walkway in here, and you get through it pretty easy.
The Rockaway Cedar Wetlands Preserve will set your clock back, and that is a good thing.
Not another one like it here in Western Oregon.
Stay with us. A local artist has taken his work in a new direction through a children's book that keeps imagination alive with a sense of wonder about the Oregon outdoors when Grants Getaways continues.
They're magical, it's true. Just watching them, the way they move.
Ever wonder where the really good ideas come from? Dean Krauser believes they begin where imagination travels, and you must be brave enough to follow.
They're so tiny, their color, their movement, their shape, everything.
Last year, we showed you how Krauser captures hummingbirds in a way no one has tried before. He doesn't paint every feather, but suggests what could be. And that sets him apart from everyone else.
I'm just trying to get something fun to happen here where you try to work kind of fast. Never would have imagined, and cliche or whatever, follow your dream. I think there's a lot of power to it. It's hard to do. It took me a lifetime to get to the point.
Krauser has spent decades traveling across Oregon, corner to corner. He owns a reputation as one of the region's finest wildlife artists. His work reflects adventure and inspiration from the wild moments he's found along the way, from the largest to the smallest of critters.
I really still can't believe it. I don't take it for granted. I'm thankful and grateful every day. I'm grateful of any customer who's ever bought my work, that they care enough to buy it and to part with their hard-earned money and everything.
Back then, we also got a sneak peek at something new, a children's story called Wonder. He penned the prose and all the artwork, and his book was published last summer.
And I took my paintbrush and I big blob on a piece of paper. And that's what it looked like.
This month, we got a test run of Wonder with a classroom of second graders at Banks Elementary.
You guys want to hear it? Do you want to hear it? You do? Okay.
It's a story about a little bear full of wonder for all that is wild outdoors.
With grace and with power, the rapids flow free If a bear had a boat, could he float to the sea?
Dean credits his family for encouragement and inspiration to find the wonder in life.
Could a bear have a friend that's as small as a mouse? You think he could? Yeah? I kind of do too.
He asks youngsters to do the same.
People talk about dreams coming true, but in order to have a dream at all, you have to think about it. And in order to think about it, you have to wonder about it. It's the greatest gift there is just wondering about the world. Someone was talking about, how long are you going to do this for? And I was like, why would I stop this? It took me my whole life to get here. Yeah, I'm having a great time. No complaints. The end. Thank you. That was fun.
We have all the details, directions, and the contact information for all the segments in this week's show on the KGW website, so be sure to check it out. Finally, it has always been my hope that Grants Getaways helps people swell a bit with pride for all there is to see and do in our corner of the world. I want you to get out there and explore the great Oregon outdoors and let Grants Getaways be your guide. For KGW and Grants Getaways, I'm Grant McOmie.
Grants Getaways on KGW is sponsored by Astoria Brewing Company, England Marine and Industrial Supply, and Fishhawk Fisheries.